In this video, we're going to talk about two major announcements for the past week that will essentially make it more difficult for people to immigrate to the United States and get green cards. The first one is proposed changes to the affidavit of support, and the second one are major restrictions on people that are a member of the Communist Party. So watch this video and I'll tell you more. Hello everybody. In this video, we're going to talk about two major proposals that came in the past week that will essentially make it more difficult for people to immigrate to the United States. As you know, in the past few months, the government has been issuing different policies, memorandums, and executive orders that will make it very difficult for people already to immigrate and enter the United States. These few proposals that we'll be talking about in this video are going to make it specifically harder for people as they immigrate and try to get their green cards. The first one we're going to talk about is the proposed changes to the affidavit of support, that important document that is required for every immigrant that is intending to immigrate and obtain a green card. And the second are the proposed policy rules for people that were members of the Communist Party, and essentially those are very extreme rules that are coming in, and I would like to discuss that as well. So before we do that, if you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel, click that bell to be notified so you don't miss any of our videos or our live streams that we do every single week. Also, give us that big like so YouTube is going to be able to show this video to more people just like you. My name is Jacob Sapochnik, and I'm an immigration attorney located in San Diego, California, and I help immigrants in all 50 states, and I'm happy to make this video just for you. So the Homeland Security has announced a proposed rule to keep sponsors accountable for failing to meet the requirements of the affidavit of support. The proposed rule would require potential sponsors to provide, in addition to actually signing the affidavit of support, they would have to provide their credit score, credit application, they have to provide tax returns for the past 3 years, in addition to the actual affidavit of support. In addition to the credit reports, and credit scores, and the tax returns, the sponsors would need to provide their actual bank accounts. And this is something that was never required before. Big changes are coming, and the whole purpose is to deter sponsors from actually willing to sign the affidavit of support, and as a result, it's going to make it more difficult for immigrants to actually get their green cards. Essentially, the way I see it, USCIS is going to make it harder for immigrants to be able to get their green cards, and also for sponsors to qualify as co-sponsors, because as you know, if somebody does not meet the income requirements, the easiest thing would be just to get a co-sponsor. But now with these new proposed rules, it's going to make it very difficult for people to become co-sponsors or even be willing to do so because of all these harsh requirements. Under these proposed rules, if the USCIS will determine that the petitioner who is filing a petition on behalf of the immigrant has actually taken public benefits in the 36 months before filing a petition, or has not reimbursed the government for aid that another immigrant has taken that petitioner sponsored, then that petitioner will be deemed not qualified and will be required to get a co-sponsor, even if that petitioner's income is okay at the moment to be a sponsor under the current poverty guidelines. That's going to be very difficult for many people to qualify. So once again, just to repeat it, if a petitioner who's filing an immigrant petition for an immigrant has taken public benefits in the 36 months prior to filing the petition, that petitioner may not qualify on its own terms and is going to need a co-sponsor under these new proposed rules. So which immigrants could be affected by the new Trump administration proposal? Essentially, it's going to apply to all relatives of US citizens and legal permanent residents who are intending to apply for a green card or in the process of getting their adjustment of status. Those immigrants are the following: immediate relatives of US citizens such as parents, spouses, and unmarried children under the age of 21. Relatives who qualify for immigration to the US under one of the family-based preferences. First preference, unmarried adult sons and daughters of US citizens. Second preference, spouses of permanent residents and unmarried sons and daughters of permanent residents. Third preference, married sons and daughters of US citizens. Fourth preference, brothers and sisters of adult US citizens. As you know, the affidavit of support is required for most family petitions and some employment-based petitions as well. So it's going to be a really, really important and pretty hard standard to meet if passed in the next coming months. And finally, this rule proposed a possibility for civil actions to be taken against sponsors who violate the rules. Is going to make it much easier for the government to take legal action. For example, eliminating the subpoena requirements before USCIS can request information from some benefit granting agency. They're going to limit the type and number of household members that can actually file the I-864 form affidavit of support. Currently, we don't have that kind of limitation. Once again, it's going to make it more difficult for people to qualify. So as you can see, these are pretty harsh requirements for affidavit of support, and it's already a complicated form. It's already a complicated process as it is. So with this proposed rules, it's going to make it definitely much more difficult for people to qualify, and unfortunately some immigrants are not going to be able to actually get their green cards. And this is all part of an effort to limit immigration as far as we see it. These proposals should be approved after a period of comments, probably 60 days, and then we'll know more. But again, these things are coming, and that's why I'm making this video, so you'll be prepared, be informed, and will know what to do. Now, let's talk about the other restriction that just was announced this week, and this is limiting people that were members of a Communist Party from immigrating and ever getting a green card. A very harsh restriction. So USCIS released guidance that's going to make it virtually impossible for members of the Communist Party or similar parties to ever get green cards into the United States, something that we've never seen before. This is pretty groundbreaking, and what that rule states is the following. In general, unless otherwise exempt, any intended immigrant who is a member of affiliate of the Communist Party or any other totalitarian party, domestic or foreign, is inadmissible to the United States. Prior to that, we had options, certain waivers for members of the Communist Party, and right now it looks like it's going to be a flat out ban on people like that, and essentially it's clearly intended at China, as we know. So as you can see, two major rules that are coming. One really important, the affidavit of support is going to impact thousands and thousands of immigrants, and essentially it's going to make it very difficult for people to immigrate unless they meet those requirements. As you can see, a lot of disclosure, make it very difficult to convince people to become co-sponsors, which is going to make it impossible for people who don't qualify to meet that requirements. As you can see, another rule to limit completely members of the Communist Party. The government is planning to block Chinese immigration to the United States. So these are the current updates on those two major provisions. Let me know what you think in the comments. Once again, if you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel, click that bell to be notified, and let me know what you think. Also, as you know, we started our private membership group, immigrationnew.com. Make sure you join. The link is in the description of this video. This is a private membership where you can get the news faster, have an awesome community to support you, and we're excited to launch that membership. So the link is right there in the comments. And also, if you want a consultation with me, there's a link right there. Many of you wanted to talk to me one-on-one, get information about your case, and I'm excited to do that for you. So right there in the link. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.